Hi, I'm Dr. Roger Levin, and for those of you I haven't had the pleasure of meeting, I'm the founder and CEO of Levin Group. As part of my personal commitment to education and knowledge, and Levin Group's commitment to the success of its clients, I decided to launch this video series on the subject of customer service. I'll also warn you, it's one of my favorite subjects. I've decided to make it informal. In fact, I wish we were just having a conversation. I'm even going to have coffee with you at times when I do these videos, and I would really hope you feel and I feel like we're together in the same room. But I've learned also that informal is great. Everything doesn't need to be a production that takes forever and sometimes never gets done. So I want to get this series launched because I want to bring it to our clients. And this is our series called 5-Star Customer Service. Now, what does 5-star mean? It literally means the highest level of customer service. And in a study done by the Levin Group Data Center, we have a very large data center that does a lot of research. We also do the Dental Economics Levin Group Annual Practice Survey. And in one of our research studies, we actually went out and asked doctors and staff in practices to rate their level of customer service 0 to 10. 0 was the worst and 10 was fantastic, unbelievable, world-class service. Well, what do you think the doctors and staff rated? And you might want to turn this off for just a moment and do your own rating. By the way, we allowed decimal points as part of the rating. Well, the answer was 9.2. Doctors and teams typically rate their customer service at 9.2. We then went back, and they knew we were going to do this. We had their permission, and we surveyed 100 to 150 of their patients, randomly selected of all ages, and asked them to rate the customer service of the practice 0 to 10. 0 is the worst, 10 is world-class 5-star customer service. What do you think the patients rated the practice? You might want to turn this off again and take a moment and see what you think the patients would say. Well, it wasn't bad. You know, so many of these stories try to make things look so bad. It was 7.6. Now, 7.6 isn't bad. We might even say that 5 would be an average in between, or a median in between 0 and 10. But 7.6, in my opinion, also isn't good enough. And it doesn't matter what kind of practice you are. You could be fee-for-service, which puts you in the vast minority of practices today. You could be fee-for-service plus insurance, which puts you in the vast majority of practices today. You could be 100% PPO, which puts you in a growing class of practices today. But either way, patients have to reach in their pocket. They have to pay you something. So their tolerance for bad service is lower, but I don't want to go there yet. We'll talk about that in another video. This video is about achieving 5-star customer service. So the gap between the patient score of 7.6 and the doctor and team score of 9.2 is statistically rather large. Now, why did doctors and teams overestimate what they thought their customer service was? Because truthfully, the only group that can really tell you what your customer service is, of course, are the customers, in this case, your patients. So were the doctors and team members wrong? Yeah, most likely. Would you rate your practice higher than the patients? Yes, again, most likely. And my theory is it's pride. You do go to work every day. You are committed to your patients. You want to give excellent clinical care. You care about your patients. You care about your job. And if you have pride, you often tend to overestimate your score. I'm sure if I was asked how good looking I am between 0 and 10, I would definitely overestimate that score. And you might give me a lower score. In life, if we have pride in ourselves, our appearance, our actions, our job, our families, our children, then we tend to overestimate the score. So here's the main goal. 7.6 isn't bad. Let's just say for a minute that's where you are. Let's say you're at 6.6. Also not bad. 2 would be bad, 3 would be bad, 4 would be bad. So this isn't about bad to 5-star. This is about okay to 5-star. How do you get from an okay level of customer service or slightly better than okay level to 5-star? Five-star service means that you have an environment that people adore, that people love to be in, that they actually can't wait to come to. Isn't there a person in your life that you can't wait to talk to? If you've got a new story, you want to call them. If you've got a question, you want their advice. You just feel good when you're around them. And what's fun for me is that may be the only data or limited data that I can give you on customer service. Most of what I do is data-based. We use data at Levin Group to build our models and our systems and our scripting. We track key performance indicators like production and collection and income and no-shows. But in customer service, it does have a major subjective component. And yet, there are companies that get it right time after time after time. Okay, so you may be already wondering, great. Oh, by the way, these will be about 12 to 15 minutes each, just so you know. And you may be wondering, okay, we're 5 minutes and 50 seconds in already. Why am I watching this? What do I really want to do with it? Do I really want to transform my practice? Meaning doctor or staff, do I want to just give it lip service? Do I really not care? And here are the three objectives of five-star customer service. So let me bring it to a level that we can all appreciate. Number one is long-term patience. The better your customer service score, the longer your patients will stay with you. Even patients who have insurance where you don't participate tend to stay with your practice unless there's a major event like a large recession that begins to change their mind, and yet many of them will still remain with you. So I call that loyalty. The first objective of five-star customer service is to create long-term customers, and that means loyalty. The second objective of five-star customer service, and I look at my pad periodically, I do prepare for these, is case acceptance and value. So I'm working on my new book on case acceptance. It's very different than in the past. I have a new theory about having conversations with people, not selling sessions, and how well it's working. You'll learn all that in your consulting program. And case acceptance is essential because without case acceptance, there's no production. Keep my simple formula in mind. Production creates revenue, revenue creates cash, cash creates income. If you have production, revenue, cash, and income, you will be successful. And we will hopefully work closely with you to make you more successful. But case acceptance drops off in many practices after $1,500. We have real research showing that there's a significant drop in case acceptance when the fee is over $1,500, not including 3-unit bridges for general practice. Well, why is that? Partly because the customer service level at 5-star motivates people to go out of their way to accept treatment because they like the doctor and the team and the practice so much. Okay, the third objective of 5-star customer service is referrals. When people like you, they talk about you. Now, we live in a world of complex marketing. I see practice after practice wasting money on marketing without a return on investment. I can tell you story after story of practices spending a lot of money and not even realizing that the return on investment is negative. But the highest return on investment you will ever get are from your own patients. Word of mouth will never go away. Whether they're talking to a family member live, a friend live, a coworker live, if they're on social media, when people are ecstatic, and that's what 5-star customer service does. It creates a feeling of ecstasy. They tell other people. In fact, I have my own theory. It may be absolutely wrong. I don't mind being wrong. That 5-star customer service causes a release of endorphins in the brain of the customer. If you don't know about endorphins, it's often referred to as a runner's high. There are people who run distances and they get this euphoric, almost heroin-like feeling of happiness called a runner's high. And I'm not being facetious when I say heroin-like because endorphins are similar to the same effect of heroin. Now, I guess heroin will give you an even higher high, so we're not going to go there. But when you create a 5-star service environment where people feel so good, so appreciated, so welcomed, I believe they actually get a release of endorphins. Now, I made all that up. There's no data. I'm the only person who's ever said that, but I actually believe that. And even if I'm wrong, I know one thing. When people are in a 5-star service environment, they feel great. They feel special. Always remember, everybody wants to be special. And here's why it's so easy. Because most of the world does not have 3-star, 4-star, or 5-star customer service. Most of the world does not go out of its way to make you feel special. Your mother did, your father did, maybe a sports team coach, maybe a teacher here or there, maybe a best friend. But other than that, the fact is that most of the world does not go out of their way to make you feel special, because honestly, they're working too hard to make themselves feel special. So this is a concept of going from inner directed to outer directed. There's psychology written about this. Inner directed people focus on themselves. Outer directed people focus on others. Okay, this is not a judgment where I'm going to say being inner directed is bad and outer directed is good, because most of us are a combination of both. Hold on, time for a sip of coffee. And this is real coffee because it's about 6 o'clock in the morning. I woke up early, did my workout, showered, shaved for this video, comb my hair, and here we are. So I do want the coffee, actually. That also gives you a runner's high, I think. Okay, so are you inner directed or outer directed? You're probably both. You're some combination on a scale of 0 to 100. Is 50-50 good? I have no idea. But when you walk into that dental practice, it is a business. It is a service business. And when you walk in, whatever you are, it doesn't matter. Let's say you're 100% inner directed. I only care about me. I don't care about other people. I know that sounds bad, but I'm not judging it. That's not my point. My point is, when you walk in the office, you need to at least act outer directed. And by the way, most people fake customer service at first. They fake it because we have to think about it. Dentistry is about doing the dentistry. Do a great crown, do a great root canal, finish a wonderful ortho case, put in a great implant, take care of children's dentistry beautifully, whatever it may be. But the fact is that is not the customer service, because we have what's called uninformed consumers. They really can't judge our dentistry other than maybe the cosmetics, whether they like it or not at the end. And that's more subjective than objective. So doing a great crown with beautiful margins does very little for your customer service profile. In the history of dentistry, and by the way, I'm a 3rd-generation dentist. I did practice full-time for 10 years and then kept a hand in it. I started building the company Levin Group while I was in practice. And the reality is that your patients have no patient in history has ever walked up to the front desk and said, "Look at these margins. They are absolutely incredible." It's never happened, and it's never going to happen. Okay? They walk up and say, "They hurt me," or "They were really nice today," or "The doctor seemed distracted," or "The assistant seemed to be in a good mood or bad mood." And by the way, very often you can be in a good mood and you come across as if you're in a bad mood. You're thinking about the last patient. You're running behind. You're thinking about what the next tray setup has to be. And now, with all the infection control, all they see sometimes are our eyes. Now, I do have a theory, by the way, we'll talk about later, not today, a theory that if you smile, it does show up in your eyes. So I hope that's really true. But we'll get to all the body language. We're going to get into body language in detail. We're going to get into scripting in detail. We're going to get into customer service strategies in detail, but not today. So the purpose of this intro to 5-star customer service is to give you the setup. And the setup is you want to be a 5-star customer service office. Now, here's what's great. It's really easy. You just have to want to do it. I can teach you the rest because everything else can be done almost as a checklist. So if you have a great personality, that will help. If you have an okay, moderate personality, you can still give 5-star service. The only person who can't do it is someone who does not have somewhat of a positive attitude. And you don't have to be rah-rah with pom-poms jumping up and down, but you can give amazing service to every patient, every hour, every day. And that's a phrase you'll get used to in upcoming videos with me. Every patient, every hour, every day. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and I encourage you to be 5-star.